It is only 5 days after payday. You open your banking app and your stomach drops. Your balance is much lower than you expected. Rent is still coming, and now one unexpected bill could push you straight back onto a credit card. So you check the transactions. $14 for lunch, $8 for coffee, $27 for takeout. A few small purchases that did not feel dangerous at the time. You did not buy anything huge, but somehow the money still disappeared. And this is where most people blame themselves. They think they need more discipline. But your bank balance may be creating the problem by showing you money that was never truly available to spend. In this video, I'll show you a simple 3-account system that protects your bills, limits overspending without constant budgeting, and moves money toward your future automatically. But if you use the 3rd account like a normal savings account, the entire system can quietly fail. One account is trying to do too many jobs. Your paycheck arrives there. Rent leaves from there. Groceries, subscriptions, takeout, gas, shopping, and savings all move through the same number. So when the balance says $3,000, your brain hears, I have $3,000. But maybe $1,200 belongs to rent. $300 belongs to utilities and insurance. $400 belongs to groceries and transportation. And $200 is already promised to debt payments. Most of that money has already been spent. It just has not left yet. I call this the false balance problem. Your banking app shows total cash, not safe to spend cash. A $20 purchase feels harmless beside $3,000. It feels different when your true spending money is $400. The 3-account system fixes that by giving each dollar a location that matches its job. Account number 1 is the bills account. This account keeps your basic life running. Rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, phone, internet, minimum debt payments, childcare, and subscriptions you intentionally keep. Let's say you bring home $3,600 per month and your fixed bills total $2,100. That money goes into the bills account before you begin spending. Ideally, recurring bills are paid directly from it. You do not carry its debit card. You do not use it for lunch. And you do not borrow from it because a sale ends tonight. I would also keep a small cushion, maybe $50 or $100, depending on your situation, because bills and payment dates can change. That is not extra spending money. It is protection against timing problems. Account number 2 is the spending account. This is the only account connected to the card you use every day. Groceries, gas, coffee, restaurants, entertainment, personal shopping. The flexible parts of life come from here. After placing $2,100 into bills, imagine you send $800 into spending. Now your card is not connected to a misleading balance of $3,600. It is connected to $800. If you are paid twice a month, that could be $400 per paycheck. If weekly limits work better, move $200 each week. The goal is not to make spending shameful. The goal is to make the limit obvious. When this account says $90, you know you have $90 left. No spreadsheet, no mental subtraction, no wondering whether rent has cleared. And this is why overspending becomes almost impossible. Not literally impossible, but structurally harder. You can only overspend by deliberately moving money out of bills or future money. That extra step creates a moment of honesty. You are no longer saying, I can probably afford this. You are choosing to take money away from another job. Now we reach account number 3, the future account. Most people hear that and think, so, a savings account. Not exactly. A normal savings account often becomes a waiting room. You save $200, pull out $80 for shopping, add $100, then use it for a weekend trip. The balance moves, but the money has no clear purpose. The future account needs named jobs. First, emergency protection. Second, planned costs like car repairs, annual insurance, travel, education, or a home deposit. Third, long-term wealth, such as retirement or investing, when that fits your situation. You do not necessarily need 3 more accounts. Some banks offer savings, buckets, or sub-accounts. A simple tracking note can work too. But the labels matter. Emergency fund is harder to raid than savings. Car repair is clearer than extra money. Retirement should not feel available for a random purchase next Friday. In our example, after $2,100 goes to bills and $800 goes to spending, $700 remains. Maybe $300 goes toward emergency savings, $200 goes toward high-interest debt, and $200 goes toward a long-term goal or investing. Your numbers will be different. The important part is that future money moves before lifestyle spending expands. Now you may be thinking, I do not earn enough for 3 accounts. That is fair. This system does not create income. If essential expenses are greater than income, separate accounts will not solve the math. But they will reveal the problem faster, and you do not need hundreds of dollars to begin. Even $20 per paycheck gives the future account a job while you work on larger changes, such as reducing a major bill, paying expensive debt, improving a skill, requesting more hours, or finding better paid work. Another objection is, why can't I track everything inside one account? You can. But will you still want to do that on a stressful Wednesday night when you are tired, hungry, and deciding whether to order takeout? A system should work when your attention is low, not only when motivation is high. 3 accounts turn invisible boundaries into visible ones. Here's how I would set it up. First, calculate 1 month of fixed bills. Second, choose a realistic spending amount, not a fantasy number that makes you quit after 1 week. Third, decide what the future account is building first. If you have no emergency buffer, that may be the priority. If you have high interest debt, part of the future money may attack it. If your employer offers a retirement match, review the plan and decide how it fits. Fourth, automate transfers around payday. Bills money moves first, future money moves second. Spending money is what remains available for everyday life. Fifth, check the system once per week during the first month. Watch for overdraft risk. Adjust irregular bills. If groceries are consistently too low, change the number honestly instead of pretending the plan works. The system should reduce stress, not create a more complicated version of it. And if your income changes each month, use percentages instead of fixed amounts. Each payment can be divided into a bills percentage, a spending percentage, and a future percentage. During a lower month, the amounts shrink. During a better month, the future account grows. The 3 account system is not powerful because 3 is a magical number. It works because it separates 3 decisions. What must be protected? What can I spend now? What am I building next? When those answers are mixed together, your balance feels confusing and your spending feels emotional. When they are separated, money becomes easier to understand. Bills stop feeling like surprise attacks. Spending becomes guilt-free because it has a boundary. And your future receives money before the month can take it. So the next time you open your banking app, you should not see one large number pretending to be available. You should see 3 clear jobs. Money that keeps your life running. Money you are free to enjoy. And money that makes next month, next year, and the person you are becoming financially stronger. Because controlling spending is not about saying no to everything. It is about protecting the right dollars before you say yes.